Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking to you guys about my decision on having a home birth versus hospital birth, and I'll go through that with you guys. Sorry about my messy house. I try to keep it clean, but you know, with a 1.5-year-old, it's not really possible, also with 3 dogs. I'll introduce you guys to my dogs though. So this right here is Leo. What do you got? This is Leo. Say hi. And this is Luna. Luna, say hi. And then Gemma is right here. Gem. Hey, Gemma. Okay, they're not interested. Those are my puppies. I'm going to be talking about my decision with having a home birth versus a hospital birth. I did have my daughter in the hospital. It didn't go how I thought it would go. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't how I thought either. They didn't listen to me. They didn't listen to what I wanted. So that really made me mad, and maybe a different hospital would be better. Still weighing my options right now. The reason I want to have a home birth is because I want to be in control of everything, and a lot of times at the hospital they're in charge. They tell you what's best. They tell you, but you know what's best for your body. You know what's best for your baby, and I'm beginning to realize that. I don't really trust doctors too much. I don't trust I guess I don't trust people who make money off me. Back to what I was saying. So the thing that happened when I was in the hospital, the reason I didn't have a good experience, I don't think, is because I wanted an epidural really bad. I wanted to wait a while to get it because I wanted to progress through my labor naturally, kind of, and then because I've heard that having an epidural can slow things down. So I was trying to get through as much as I could tolerate without the epidural. And then I got to a point where I could not, the pain was just so bad I couldn't deal with it. I kept asking for an epidural and they just didn't care. They were like, oh, well, wait, we're going to ask your doctor. And then an hour would go by and I would ask again, can I have the epidural now? And they were like, oh, there's people in front of you, there's emergency C-sections that take priority over you. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, but can I just get it as soon as possible? And they're like, yeah. So I got into the hospital with Ivy at, I think, 10 in the morning. My water broke, and I was about 4 centimeters dilated when I went into the hospital after my water broke. And then around like 5 o'clock, the pain got so bad I kept asking for the epidural, and then they kept saying no, and then they gave me some morphine, which helped the first time, and then once that wore off, I was in more pain, and eventually I just kept asking for the epidural, and I didn't get it until 12 to 1 at night. I think it was around midnight. Around midnight, I finally got it. And I was in a lot of pain up until I got it. After I got it, I was finally able to sleep. It felt so good to just relax. I could sleep. I was like dozing in and out. And then I ended up having Ivy around, I think at 2 o'clock I started pushing. But the thing that made me really mad, besides them waiting so long for me to get the epidural, is that when I was ready to start pushing, one of the doctors turned the epidural off, and then it wore off, and I just felt everything while I was pushing for 40 minutes, and I get some people push longer than the 40 minutes, especially the first-time mom, but some people also push a lot less, and that 40 minutes was terrible. It was, I'm sure people who are watching this know about the ring of fire, but it was so terrible, and I kept saying, I just want a C-section. I don't even know what I was yelling. It was just so terrible. It was definitely an experience, I guess. they don't want to do again. And some of you guys might be like, okay, so why are you going to have home birth? You can't have an epidural at home birth. I think that as long as I prepare myself mentally to have a home birth, I will be okay. I was okay with the pain up until around 5 o'clock, but I think the reason I was just so frustrated that they wouldn't give me the epidural, it made me mad, and then it ruined kind of how I thought my birth would go with Ivy. Another reason I don't want to go to the hospital is because I don't want to wear a mask during labor and delivery right now during COVID. I don't want to wear a mask. I won't wear a mask during labor and delivery, and it's a book, and I don't want to have to get tested for COVID. I know some of you guys are probably like, that's stupid, just go get tested. But anyway, besides the COVID talk, can you get off the table? You want to take me? Besides the COVID talk, I would love to be at home and have Ivy and my husband there with me. Home is where you're comfortable. But once again, I'm not sure if it'll even work out that I'm able to have a home birth because we're going to be living in a camper all summer, and I don't know if our house will be done in time for when I'm due. I'm not even sure when my due date is yet, and I'm estimating it to be like October 2nd. So I guess we'll see. Can I get down there? I guess we'll see when I'm actually due, when our house is done. I mean, I'm going to prepare for one. Worst case scenario, we have the baby in the trailer. I wasn't high risk pregnancy during my first pregnancy with Ivy, and she was very healthy. No issues at all. I'm not too worried. My only thing is dealing with the pain. I have to have some sort of pain management plan for that, and I have 8 months to prepare myself. I have this book right here that I was given, Birth Without Fear. I haven't started reading this yet, but it's basically just telling you how to take charge of your birth. I don't know, it's a tough choice. I think a lot of people in their heads would like to do home births, but people tell them it's unsafe, and it's not. As long as you have a trained professional, you're not high risk, I don't see a problem with it at all. We don't live too far from a hospital, so if something does go wrong for some reason, we're just 20 minutes away from the hospital. Hey guys, so I'm going to make some banana bread. First, you have to set the oven to 350.